Passion our purpose, profit our pain. I don't want my name to ever be in vain. A life full of substance is the only thing that will remain the same. Millennial thoughts. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Millennial Thoughts with your girl, Alicia. I hope y'all are really enjoying this travel series. It's going to go on for however long I can keep getting my travelers out here. And today I have a special guest. Her name is Emmanuela. She's a travel blogger, and she travels, and she also happens to have a 9 to 5. So I'll let her introduce herself and get to know her a little bit better, and then we'll go into the interview.
Hi, thank you, Alicia. I'm so glad to be with you today. And yeah, I'm Emmanuela. I'm from JetSetters Diary. I do work a 9 to 5, a demanding one at that. And I am also working on my doctorate degree while I am traveling. So I've had my blog for 3 years now and live in South Florida and currently interested in traveling all over the world, but mainly in the US, Mexico, and the Caribbean right now, or pretty much anything in the African diaspora.
Yes, oh my goodness. And I think that's what actually attracted me to you. Because I was like, one thing I seen you were like you wanted to travel to like all the Caribbean countries or something like that. And I was
Yeah.
like, that is my goal too. Like I definitely want to hit the Caribbean. Is that something like what your dissertation is gonna be on, or like is that what you're getting your PhD in? Or is that just personal that you want to travel to like all the islands?
It's a mix of all of what you just said. Actually, I think my desire kind of stems from, first of all, who I am as a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, both of my parents are from Haiti. They actually moved to the US back in 1980. Just having that strong connection with the island and the Caribbean is kind of what kind of, I guess, pushed me in that direction where I'm really focusing on the Caribbean islands. That's just always been a goal of mine. And the first time I went to a Caribbean island, which was Nassau, and I'm sure we'll talk about some of my travels later on, I remember going there and my grandmother lived there. I have 2 aunts, an uncle, and some cousins there as well. And I was like, I'm moving here. I love Bahamas. I just want to live on an island like for the rest of my life. And that's actually been something that's been consistent with me. So I just want to see all the Caribbean islands. I know some people are just like, oh, if you've gone to one island, you've gone to them all, but they are all unique. I have not
Mm-hmm.
found 2 islands that are the same. And so, a little bit with fast forwarding with my dissertation, yes, my dissertation does have something to do with that. So, I'm working on my doctorate in higher education administration. And pretty much that's the degree that you typically get if you're wanting to work at a university or college, anything like higher ed related, which is where my 9 to 5 is. And what I'm looking at is looking how second generation Afro-Caribbean women make meaning of their race, ethnicity, and gender. And so it's interesting. So it's a qualitative study where I'm interviewing women. And second generation, according to the research, is anyone that was born in the US, but their parents were born abroad.
Oh, that is really like it's really specific in what it is. But I just got my master's in student affairs, so I know exactly
Ah,
about that. Yeah,
oh
higher
my gosh,
education.
yes.
Yeah, I don't know if
Where?
I went to Western Kentucky University.
Oh my goodness.
And,
I didn't know that about
yeah,
you.
I know. I know it's crazy because actually a couple of people who I like talk to on, of course, on Instagram. That's where I like meet a lot of people. I
Hmm.
was like following her and stuff like that, and I was talking to her. She's like, "Oh my goodness, like I just got my master's in higher ed, basically too." I'm like, "Okay, a lot of people are getting their masters in higher ed and stuff like that." So I just confused about what's going on. And I was like, "Okay." But
Well,
they do travel a lot too, so I'm just trying to get on that level where I can get me a job in higher ed and travel how they be traveling. Okay.
awesome. I think a lot of
Yes.
people of color gravitate towards higher ed because, sometimes we go to PWIs, or
Mm-hmm.
any really type of higher ed institution, and maybe you've either had a great experience or people who've influenced you, to reach higher and to keep pushing, and you want to be that for other people, or you had a bad experience and you're like, okay, I need to help out other people.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Sometimes it's like a mix of
Mm-hmm.
both, or whatever, which is crazy because I love my undergrad experience, but I honestly didn't. I really hated my master's
Mm.
experience. So like, it was kind of which that's a whole nother story. So that's why let me stick to travel, something that I like to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But but so what, like, you had your travel blog for 3 years
Mm-hmm.
and it's called JetSetters Diary.
Mm-hmm.
What made you come up with that name? Like, how'd you come up with that name, and what made you start like your blog?
So funny. So, well, again, it was tied to like my day job. And so I loved traveling, or still love traveling, and, would come back to work and just talk about, stories of, my travels and things like that. And some of my coworkers would just say, well, you should start a blog. And, after hearing that for several times, I was like, okay, let me just bite the bullet and create it. And so I did it. And the thing behind it was about just sharing what like my travel stories and things like that. And so it was really supposed to be kind of like I'm writing into my diary as to like,
Mm.
like what, what it was like going here, what it was like going there. And, um, didn't really think it was a thing. I was just, blogging. But um, then, as it grew, I really wanted it to be a resource for people who, were looking to go to particular places. Like, so I started to create different travel guides and trying to do things to inspire people to travel too. It's a lot of times when you see things, kind of advertising about travel, it's always old people, right? As if you have to be retired to be traveling. And so I really wanted to kind of get out there to tell people like you can travel while you're working and while you're doing other things, and you don't have to wait for like the last chapter of your life to go and see the world.
Mm-hmm. That is most definitely true. So, speaking of that, like working with your 9 to 5 and doing that, you said that your 9 to 5 is very demanding, which I don't know like what position you have, but how are you able to balance that and working and then working on your blog, but then also like finding time to travel as
Yeah,
well?
I don't know if I'm the best at it at all. Just a full disclosure, but I'm working on being kinder to myself and just giving myself grace. And so a lot of times I try to do a mixture of things. So I work in career services, and so one of the things with that office is working with employers that want to recruit our students, but then we're also helping to prepare our students. So, things with their resumes, interviewing, all of those kinds of things for professional development. And so, I manage one of our locations that works with our College of Engineering and Computing majors. So it's a very busy office because of the skills that people are trying to recruit for out of that college. So that's why I say it's kind of demanding. And I have a
Mm-hmm.
team that I supervise. And so, a lot of times people might think that you can't like travel when you're like, working your way up. But, I like to challenge that a little bit. So one of the things I try to do is try to work in my travel with conferences. So there are
Mm-hmm.
different conferences that you can go to depending on the profession that you're in. And I'm a firm believer of going to those conferences like of course you should be going for your professional development. I don't just go to places just because, oh, you know, I want to go to this city or whatever. That's not the main thing. It's like looking at the topics that are there that are going to help me to grow, and then seeing how that works. So based off of that, I throw that into my calendar, and then I know where I'll be going during those times of the year, if that makes sense. And then I will build out, you know, maybe a day on the front and the end, so that I can try to explore and do my own thing while I'm traveling for the conference. So I'll even do things in the evening or in the morning, depending on the schedule of the conference, so that I can kind of like explore the city and you know, grub because I love food, you know, so check out like good breakfast places or dinner, you know, places, things like that, or sightseeing in that area. So I do things like that. Then I kind of look at like my like social calendar. So like who's getting married this year, whose birthday trip is coming up, you know, that kind of thing. And then try and work it into places that I have been wanting to go, you know, if that makes sense. I can't go to everybody's birthday trip, but, you know, try and like split it up to or choose based off of the places that are kind of like on my bucket list. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely see. So
yeah,
traveling like an SA pro. SA pro with
yes,
the conferences, and then just building in some fun travels. But like,
off of
of
that.
course, you can't make it to everything because I mean, you have to work as well,
Exactly.
and
And
that's
then
what.
on top of that, I'm married, and so my husband, he has travel goals too, or we have travel goals together. And so like, you know, sometimes we'll want to travel on our birthdays, and then we have like a whole bucket list of like, okay, where we want to go, and then we try to split it up based on, you know, what else is going on the travel calendar, and then our
Oh,
anniversaries too. So yeah, so we have a little bucket list, and then we try to save to different places to try to have like different buckets for each travel, so that we're
mm-hmm.
making progress throughout the year towards the travel goals that we have.
When you say bucket list or travel goals, are you talking about just like places you want to go in a bucket list? Or are you talking about like saving money in a bucket? Does that make sense?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I guess a
I didn't know
little
which one
bit.
you were talking about.
A little bit of both, right? Of what
Okay.
you said, but the bucket is like bank accounts. So we'll split up our bank accounts, because we used to have it where it was like all in one, you know, bank account. We're like, oh, okay, for this, but then sometimes it gets kind of like confusing if you're like
Mm-hmm.
pulling out of that same account. And so we actually do different savings accounts so that we can like pull it out. And then we actually have a real bucket too that we put
Oh,
like,
okay.
we try to use cash for everything. And then when we have the change, we put it in a bucket, and then we will actually cash that out to use as like cash for our trips too. So there's times where we come out with like, we save so much like change where it equals up to like $200, and then we can use that as cash like when we're traveling.
Okay, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I was like, you're saying the couple things. I just wanted to make it clear, you know, because I'm gonna use like envelopes stuff like that. I haven't really got to that point to use envelopes to save money and stuff like that. But I know people do have different ways they save and do trips and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I was wondering about. So going back to like the first part, was the first time you were abroad was when you went to the Bahamas, or was that just like the first time you went to the Bahamas?
That was the first time I went to Bahamas. So the first, well, not really the very first time, but the first time I went abroad was actually to Montreal, Canada.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'm originally from New York, Brooklyn, New York. And when I was 3, my mother sent me up there to be with, I know, so it's kind of crazy. And I forgot about this, like even on the bio on my website. I need to update it because it talks about my second international travel, which was
Mm-hmm.
at 7. But at 3, she sent me up there because she was pregnant with my younger sister. And she didn't think that she could like handle, both of us at the same
Oh,
time.
uh-huh. Oh my gosh, I've heard of that before, like families doing that.
Yeah. And so she sent me there, and I was there for 3 months. And I came back to a sister who was like,
And you,
in my crib and I was speaking French.
yeah. Oh my goodness,
Yes,
that's so funny.
yeah, it is funny. So that was my first trip, and I actually have memories of being there, which is kind of crazy
Mm-hmm.
because I'm 38 now. But
Yeah.
so that, and then my next trip was to the Bahamas. I was 7 years old when I went for the first time.
Okay. So do you still speak French or not really?
No, no.
Okay.
And I actually took French in high school and college.
What?
I know, but it's one of those things, if you don't practice it, you
Hmm.
you definitely lose it.
Most definitely. I was like, oh, maybe I have somebody that could teach me French. Oop. I'm
No,
trying to be
ma'am.
I'm trying to be trilingual. I'm trying to be able to speak French and Spanish, but I'm still working on it.
Awesome. Yeah, I
Yes.
wish. I wish.
Yeah, but no, I was just wondering because like thinking about like traveling when you're younger and stuff like that, it was like I guess like what sparked it into you, but like you got kind of put out. Your mom kind of gave you so that she could have some help. So that did it,
Hmm.
and then you went to the Bahamas and to visit your grandma. And have you been to Haiti?
Yeah, I went to Haiti for the first time 4 years ago, which is kind of crazy to me. I think a lot of people, uh, hopefully this isn't too controversial, but a lot of people who have Haitian parents, sometimes they aren't, as I can't think of the word I want to say, as eager to have their
Mm-hmm.
kids go back to visit for various reasons. Um, Maybe based off of like the reason why they left the country in the first place, that kind of thing. And there's a lot of unrest in the country as well. Um, but it's also beautiful. I am one of the individuals that's really trying to, show the good parts of Haiti because there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot more to it. So I went 4 years ago when my maternal grandfather passed away. And
Mm-hmm.
so we went, myself, one of my sisters, my mother, my father. And so it was just so cool. It was a cool experience just to go to the place where my parents were from and also generations as well. Like I didn't really realize that I was missing something until I went there. Like, and just got reconnected with the island, if that makes sense. Like I have a lot of family that's here, but then to go there and I got to see my father's mother too, which is my paternal grandmother, for the first time, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of crazy. I was 30 something meeting my grandmother for the first time.
But that's
um
awesome,
yeah,
actually. Thinking. Mm-hmm.
it was life changing for me.
Yeah, that's crazy. I actually follow like well, I guess I wouldn't say like a lot of Haitians, but I actually follow this other girl. She's Haitian, and she actually is like taking people back there in December or something like
Yeah,
that.
Saba.
Um, you said who?
Is it Saba?
Oh my gosh, I think it is
Yeah.
Saba. I think it is. I'm like, maybe you might know her.
Yeah,
Uh,
we've connected. Yeah, we've met a couple of times before and we've connected. Hopefully we're gonna do a trip one day. But yeah, she's going in December. I wish I was able to go, but
me too, right?
she's
I'm like, I
awesome.
want to go to Haiti so bad. And I seen another person they were planning a trip to Haiti. I think he's actually Haitian too. And so I just like thought it was so cool. So are you like a second generation? Um
Yes. Mm-hmm.
you okay,
I
that's what I was
am.
wondering. And yeah, it's like I think it was somebody else. I don't really know, but yeah, that's cool. And well, like being a second generation of, is it like second generation American? Do you feel like traveling was like more accessible for you, or was it like more known, or do you like your parents? Did they always travel, and it was just like something y'all did, or do you think like it was instilled in you and that's what y'all do, or do you feel like you were able to do it more? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think that because my parents were from another country, I think that did make it more talked about, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like I know there's a lot of people that don't have a passport or have never had a passport. And we did growing up, just because my dad would travel back and forth to Haiti when I was younger. And then, of course, too, when we went to the Bahamas. But actually, back then, you didn't need a passport to go to the Bahamas. You just needed your birth your birth certificate. So, like after my passport expired, I think I went back to Haiti when I was like not Haiti, but Bahamas when I was like 13 or 14, and I went without my passport because it was expired, I think, at that time. So, yeah, I think because they were from another country, it wasn't like taboo to do that. But even though they traveled, to Haiti, they didn't really travel anywhere else, to really be honest, outside of the country. Yeah, so it wasn't like it wasn't like they were like world travelers, even though they had the passport. I think it was just the means to get back to, like their home country to,
Hmm.
reconnect with family members and things like that. So yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, yeah. I guess yeah. I wasn't trying to say. Well, I was trying to say accessible in a sense, but like because I know some people they do come over here, and some people don't even go back to their homeland, their
Mm-hmm.
country or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so wondering about that, and so it's like, or my parents didn't get to travel as much. So like, you know how second generation they be like, well, I want to take this opportunity to go here and go this because like my parents helped like afforded me being able to like come over here and live this like better life or something like that. So I just didn't really
Yeah.
know about
No,
the differences. So I was just wondering.
actually, that is part of it. Like when I do travel, that's some of the things that I think about. Like, wow, like the things that my parents have sacrificed and how I've been
Hmm.
able to see the world. And a couple of years ago, I was able to take my parents on a cruise for
Oh,
their
okay.
birthdays. And my mom now, she's like, she loves cruises. So she went to like three before I took on this other one. But my dad had never been on a cruise before. And so just to see them like discovering other places and just having that excitement for travel like I do is something that's really amazing too.
Yeah, that is cool. I actually just came back from a cruise. I've been last year was my first time, and then I went this year. And well, let me tell you about them cruises. Oh, 8 days is so long.
I know, I was
Being
jealous
out
though. I
in
really
that
was.
water, yeah, in the water in the middle of the ocean, like, woo, I'm talking about you want to go on another cruise? I think I'm gonna stick to inclusive resorts because woo, child, the
It is a
cruises,
lot. If you're going, yeah, that's a lot. I haven't been on a cruise that long yet. And that would be a
yes.
long time.
It honestly was a long time, and then it was like a long time at first, but then it went so quick because you go to the ports and then you stop and then you got to get back on the boat before it leaves and stuff like that. So it was like
Hmm.
really quick experiences. So I was like, oh my goodness, that's crazy, but that is so cool. So what are some other places that you've been besides the Caribbean, like Europe? Have you been to Africa yet? Asia?
No, actually not yet. So, okay, so the whole thing with the diaspora thing, I am actually waiting out Europe because because I'm just concentrating on the African diaspora. And as we know, those have been countries that have been big players in colonizing pretty much the whole world. And so I'm not in a rush to go and
To
see
go to
those. I'm just
I'm
keeping it
cracking up.
100.
Yes, I'm cracking up. So you ain't.
I mean, of course, there are places I want to go to in Europe. You know, I want to go to Italy and France
Hmm.
and London,
But
but
you would want to go to Africa first. Any
exactly.
country in Africa. Do you have a
Yeah.
country that you want to go to first?
Yes. Okay. So I have a couple of places. So my, and then I have to say, so next year, I'm really hoping that I can graduate with my doctorate,
Yes.
and then the gift to myself will be going to the continent of Africa.
Yes.
So
Please
I
let me know
am,
if you go.
what? Yes, I will for sure. And so right now, the big the top ones, I think I know where I'm gonna go, but these are the ones that I'm battling with is South Africa
Yes, me
is one.
too.
Oh, it looks so beautiful, and it has like I have like these three things that I really like to experience when I go to different
Hmm.
places, and it's food, wine, and the art scene. And South
Yeah.
Florida has all three of those things. Oh,
Oh.
and there's a fourth one, which is the beaches too, and they do have they do have beaches.
That was just
So
there, you know.
yeah. So that's on the list. Morocco is another one. But I am on the fence with Morocco. Like,
Yeah, see, I'd be confused about Morocco too. I was like, oh, I'd be confused. Spain, I'd be really confused about that area right there. It gets a little weird at times.
yes,
I
I
don't
think
know.
we're on the same page too. But but there's something pretty intriguing about it, and
Hmm.
just going to I've never been to like a Muslim like country,
Hmm.
and so
Morocco's Muslim,
I think mostly,
like
yeah,
the religion. Oh.
mostly Muslim religion. And so that would be like a different experience for me.
Hmm.
So that's something that I'm kind of thinking about. Um, and then, of course, I'm thinking about like Kenya is another one too.
Yes,
Uh,
Nairobi. Oh my gosh, have you seen
yes.
them giraffes in the window pictures?
Oh my
While
gosh.
you're,
While you're
while
eating
you're eating your
breakfast.
breakfast. Oh my gosh, yes, I be thinking I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool. Okay, I don't know about that one. I'll be so shook over there with them giraffes in the
I
window.
know, but you got to do it
But
for the gram if you make it
I
all
know,
the way over
yes, literally. This
there.
lady, she's like a traveler. And I don't know, you might know her. I really can't remember the travel vlog, but anyway, she travels with her family. She has two little girls. They're so cute. She went on a safari. I think it's like maybe the traveling mom traveling with the kids or something like
Uh-huh.
that.
Uh-huh.
And they're like black, and she has like natural hair or something like that. Like,
Yeah. I
yeah,
think
she
that
has.
is the one that you're traveling with kids. I think that's
Yeah, I think
yeah.
so. And she has like a 2 and a 4 year old. And I watched
Mhm.
their safari and I seen their pictures. It was so cute. And I was like, I never thought about Kenya. Like, I knew some Kenyans. I'm like, yo, Nairobi. Like, I've heard of it. But I'm like, oh my God, it looks so pretty. It looks so fun. Like, I really want to go on safari and stuff like that. So, and that's why I see
Yeah.
about them giraffes and stuff. Cause I was like, oh my
Uh-huh.
goodness. So yeah, Kenya. Yeah, it's on there. But I
Yeah.
was like, maybe I'll wait till I have kids for that one. Cause I like see that she had kids with it. So I was like, maybe I'll wait for that one.
Maybe.
Safari.
I
I
mean,
don't know
there's
about that
so
one.
many
Yeah.
places like to explore. So like, yeah, you have
Hmm.
time. And
Yeah.
my other one is Ghana,
I was surprised you
Ghana.
didn't say that one first. I was
Well,
waiting for that one.
I didn't do it in order actually. So it's
Oh.
not it's not in order. But Ghana,
Okay.
yeah, I would say Ghana and South Africa were tied for me.
Yes, me
Um
too. Oh my goodness. Most definitely are. They are definitely telling. I don't know which one to go, but I have a friend from South Africa and Ghana, and I'm like, y'all, like, take me so I can figure out. One of my friends wants to go to Ghana next year for like New Year or
mm,
something like that. I'm like, okay, girl, because I really want to go to Africa when I'm 25. I really wanted to give that to myself as a birthday present, but I don't know if it's looking like that because hey, the way higher ed works.
is set up.
And my birthday is in August as well too. So
Oh,
my birthday is August 21st. I'm a Leo. Yes, I am. But
yeah.
also that's like
The
moving,
busiest,
like the
yeah.
first week of school
Hmm. So
or
you're in
whatever.
housing? Is that what you
Yeah,
do?
well, I'm not in housing right now.
Oh, okay,
I used
okay.
to be in housing, but I just do like first day of school and stuff like that. Actually, I'm really not in higher ed right now because I don't have a job. So if you want to help your sister out find a job,
Okay,
I would
yes.
love for you to Florida. Just a
Okay.
little plug. But yeah, I'm really just like applying for jobs right now.
Awesome.
But I
Yes.
already know if I'm like, I already know if I do get into housing, or even if I do get like academic, not academic, but like student involvement, the areas that I want to go to,
Mm-hmm.
like, student involvement has like the welcome week and all that stuff. So it's like that
Mm-hmm.
first week, I'm going to be trampled depending on if I went up north and they started school later. So,
That's
I'm
true.
really just like thinking about either celebrating early because there's actually this like travel group called Power to Excel, and they're
Mm-hmm.
going to South Africa in like July or something like that. So I thought about like traveling in earlier and just being like,
Ooh.
oh yeah, this is my birthday and whatever. But I don't know. But yeah, I really want to go to those two places, and I can't really choose either. So that's so funny that we're just like, one of those. Like,
Yeah, I know. It's just one of those things. You're like, okay, I'm going all the way over there. Where should I go? It's just like a lot of anxiety. But
I know, and
just
I'm
go
like,
one
I don't
country at a
know.
time.
I know, and I met this lady. She did my hair. Of course, African. Shout out to them. And she was from I can't remember the Gambia.
Oh.
She's from the Gambia, and that's like in Senegal, whatever. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's like other countries. I'm like, dang, if I go over there for real, I'm trying to maybe go to Nigeria because I need to hit a couple
Yes.
of countries while I'm already over there. I then took that 20-hour flight. You know what I'm
Very
saying?
true.
So yeah, that's so crazy. But I want to say that my minor was Pan African Studies in undergrad as well,
Oh.
and I studied the diaspora. I went to Trinidad and Tobago, and that's when I was thinking about the Caribbean. I just think like I went to Trinidad and Tobago twice, and I was thinking about like the diaspora of Black people is so crazy, and looking at
Yes.
Africa and like how wherever they were dropped off at, and how the Caribbean is like so many Black people, and it's like they work together, they can have so many things, and it's just like all these Black people are in the Caribbean. I just think it's just like it's so I don't know if it's like so overwhelming, so shocking, but I just like dang, like they're on these islands. Just these islands are beautiful, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just trying to figure out like what to do, how you can do something. But I thought that was just interesting, like learning about the diaspora and
Yeah.
like of Africa and stuff like that. Not trying to be like so educational or whatever, but when I went to Trinidad, I thought that was so cool. So I was going to ask, did you ever study abroad? And
No, and that's one of the things that I kind of, regret that I didn't do that. In college, I didn't really know about that, to really be honest, as an option. And I also, didn't even realize the value of majoring in Latin American or Caribbean studies and, those kinds of topics, which really would have benefited me now, like with,
mm-hmm.
what I'm doing. So no, yeah, I did not do study abroad. I wish.
Yeah. I'm cracking up. Yeah. So, what did you get your undergrad in and your master's, if you don't mind me asking? Like,
Oh, yeah, good question. So, my undergrad is in public administration, and I'm minored in entrepreneurship. And
okay.
yeah, my whole thought was that well, first of all, I really wanted to major in business, but I was really like scared of the pre-cal class that I had to
Girl, oh my gosh, you kind of sound the same. Well, I didn't get to pre-cal, girl. I was scared of the whatever the first class was, economics. Ooh, I was oh no, man, marketing. Ooh,
Yes.
no, man, I can't take these classes. But that's another conversation too, because I could have been so much further in life if I did business, but. Boy, that math class was not working for me. I couldn't do that. I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna just go over to the social sciences."
Yes, me too. So I ended up doing public administration because I was like, oh, some of these, I would look at job descriptions and they would ask for public or business administration. So I'm like, okay, I could do this. So I did that with the hopes that I would start my own business. So I was always like into, entrepreneurialism and that sort of thing. And in my master's program, I decided to go for higher education administration or student affairs. And so I ended up doing that.
Mm. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. That's what I got my master's into. Um, and then they talking about a doctorate. I'm so sorry. I am not getting no doctorate in higher ed. I can't think no more. I can't write nothing else. I cannot
Well, I'll
do
tell
it.
you this. I said the same thing. I really did. And I what year is this? I want to say it was 4 years or 5 years ago. I was in a meeting with other higher ups, and I was the only Black person in the meeting. And for me, I had this moment where I was just like, important decisions are being made, and individuals are not at the table. And I wanted to, have the opportunity to sit at those tables and to, try to help make decisions that positively impact people who look like me. And a lot of times to get access to those roles, you need the doctorate. And so I decided to, pursue it. So the thing that's propelling me are the students that I want to help. I think that's really the thing that's really pushing me forward.
And so, with that, where do you see like jet setters going? Do you feel like you're always going to be in higher ed? Do you feel like you're going to transition out? How do
Well,
you
I'm
see the?
open actually. I'm open to anything. Like I could see myself being in higher ed or working in policy. I like the research piece. Um, so I could definitely see myself in research. I would love to maybe even go into corporate too, because a lot of corporations now are doing diversity and inclusion roles. So
Mm-hmm.
would love to be into that. And then with Jet Setter's Diary, it's going to keep going. Travel is a part of my life. So I am just going to keep writing. I'm going to keep, sharing my love for travel and encouraging others to do it as well. And to go out there and see the world, because that's for me has been something that has helped me to learn more about myself and how I adjust to new environments, as well as learning things about other people. So it's going to keep going. I may end up, who knows, maybe one day doing a podcast or um, writing. I really want to look into like travel writing too,
Yes, me too. Well, you're already kind of doing it.
yeah, I am in my own space, but then maybe, in travel
Oh
magazines
yeah,
or
are you talking about
right?
magazines? Yes, that's what I'm trying to talk
Exactly.
about.
Yeah.
Literally, I was just about to ask you: have you heard of the Audacity Fest?
Yes, I have.
Yes, it's in Memphis next weekend.
I know. I'm so upset that I'm missing it. So
Me
many good
too. Oh my
presenters.
goodness. I am so sad too. I'm like, oh my goodness, I really, really, really want to go. And it's like close to me, but it's not really close to me. And so I was gonna say with that, like, there's gonna be so many people you can meet, you can travel. Because like I'm just now breaking into it, which I've
Hmm.
traveled all the time. I actually started my blog when I came back from Panama. I studied abroad in Panama and Trinidad,
Oh,
and so I
cool.
studied. I actually started like a blog because I just wanted to write my travels. Didn't really know too much about it, so now I'm like, dang, I wish I would have kept that because that could have been like 5 years of content. But I feel
Mm,
like I'm starting late, but I just turned 24, so I'm trying to start a little bit earlier, maybe than some more people. But
yeah.
I'm just like, dang, I wish I could have started from when I was 20 or something. Don't know where I would have been at right now. But yeah, so I'm like, dang, I wish I could go to Audacity Fest. I wish I would have known about it like a little bit more or something like that. But maybe
Yeah.
next year or
Maybe
something.
next
And
year.
so yeah, I was
Yeah.
wondering if you were going or if you knew anybody who like was
No, actually,
pursuing.
I'll be in Memphis twice this year. So I went for the first time in May, and then I'll be there in December. And so I'm kind of upset with myself that I didn't know it. But next year, I'm for sure adding it to my calendar. There's a ton
Mm-hmm.
of great presenters there that I follow that I don't know. I'm hoping, you know what? I wish they have like a recording. I have to look for that. But
Yeah, true. I don't know.
um
I just remember. I think that's when I started following you. Maybe I found out when you went to Memphis. My first time in Memphis was in May too. That's so funny that we missed
oh
each other.
yeah,
I
that's
do
true. You
remember
went
that
like the
now.
week after, or like I think it was
Yes,
the
I went
same
for
week and I
Memorial.
left. Yeah.
I went for Memorial Day weekend, and
Yes,
I
and
was
I
like
left
asking
Wednesday,
you.
I think, of Memorial Day
Yes,
weekend.
Memphis is so fun, but I was only there for a night, so that's why I really, really wanted to go back because I was there for like a night, and it was like so packed because it was Memorial Day weekend. But I was doing like a civil rights tour or whatever, so it was just like
Oh,
doing too much. And so yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, love Memphis. I have to go back. and this would be a perfect time, but I don't think it's gonna work out. But I guess I'm not gonna be too salty. I'm just gonna hope I can go next time. But
Next year, yes. Next year is the year we're gonna see each other there. I don't know
yes,
where it's
hopefully
gonna
it speaks
be.
into existence. Like yes, maybe a trip or something. I need to figure out how I'm gonna get back to Haiti. Are we gonna figure out how we're going to Africa or something? Because
Yes.
I need to be in Africa for real, in the motherland. But
Mm.
yes. Well, would you like to tell the travelers anything where they can find you at something? This has really been like a great interview. This is really good. I had to go check on the time. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't want to take up all her time. I was only like 30 minutes, and it's about 40. So
Oh,
I
thank
don't want to take
you.
up all your time.
Yeah, I've loved this talk too, because yeah, I didn't even realize that we had that higher ed connection too. So yes,
Yes, most definitely
um,
have to keep in
yes,
touch.
we'll definitely keep in touch and then connect you to some folks to get you a higher ed job for sure. But
Yes.
your folks can find me on several places. I'm on Instagram at JetSetters_diary. And I'm also on Twitter at JetSetters Diary. And then you can find me on my blog, which is www.jetsettersdiary.com.
Thank you so much for coming on here and talking about your travels. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed the episode. We talked about a lot of different things, so hopefully y'all can keep up with us. And this might not be the last time y'all hear from us because this is my girl right now. I gotta talk to her because we in the same field.
Oh,
So yes. Have a great day, time whenever you watch this. Make sure you follow. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I always say follow, and this is the whole podcast. But yes. So have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
thank you, Alicia.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So I mentioned conferences, and one of the things that I forgot to kind of like really dig into is the fact that when you go to conferences, your company is the one that's usually paying for the most expensive parts of traveling, which are your travel, uh, your your airfare, your lodging, your food. And so what I like about that piece is that if I like the place that I'm going to, I'll add extra days to it to where I pay for, a day before or after out of my own pocket. But getting there and the bulk of my stay is being paid for by the company. Other things too, to get back to the whole idea of traveling while you have a full-time job, is trying to take advantage of long weekends and holidays so that you're using less of your vacation days. Traveling when it's the slower times during work where